Hello, my name is Latrell Jackson. I am the math coach at knowledgeovergrades.net, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a lesson on functions, part 1. Hope you enjoy it. So, what is a function? A lot of people get stuck on this question, answering it, and just trying to figure out what consists of a function and what is not a function. So I'm going to go over some really basic real life situations that are functions in our everyday life that we don't really always learn how to match that with the mathematical version of a function. So this part of the lesson is actually going to be just real life connection. The next part of the lesson is actually going to be applying what we learned in the real life connection to the mathematical algebraic connection of functions. So we're going to bridge the real life to the mathematics. Okay? So a function is a system that matches inputs and outputs. Each input can only have one output, and each output depends on its input. Keep these three points in mind. What you get out depends on what you put in. Let's look at some real life examples. So let's say we put in a person with a cold, right? What happens, what you get out, you end up having a cold. It happens a lot, right? I was just at my parents' house, my family's house, and my brother and my mom had a cold. I might get a cold because I stayed there too long. How about number 2? You put in an argument to an educational debate, a debate about education and maybe the equality, the injustice or justice in an education system. What you get out, you can get a solution to the educational injustice or education, in a solution to the issue in educational equity. You put in too little baking soda. What you get out? Lumpy, light-colored cookies. That happened to me. Me, my dad, and my sister baked cookies for school. We baked them and sold them at school. And one time we ended up with not enough baking soda, and our cookies came out lumpy and light-colored instead of flat and brown. And it was like a wasted batch. And they also didn't taste good either. Not as good as what we're used to them tasting like. Let's look at number 4. You put in a pregnant human mama. What do you get out? A human baby. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, hold on. How do we get from the in to the out? I'm sure you can tell that there was kind of something missing, right? A middle, something in the middle that we skipped over. That can be called the machine. We got the inputs and we got the outputs, but what is manipulating our inputs to give us outputs? Let's look and see. What's the middle of our ins and outs? Okay, so I inserted a middle, and let's try to complete our sentences now. So we put in a person with a cold. The middle is that person sneezes on you, and now you have a cold. So that's the result. That's the out. That's the output. How about you put in an argument to an educational debate? Everybody sits, discusses, and considers what that person said or what you said. What comes out is a solution to an educational injustice. So that's the middle, the discussion, the consideration. Doesn't always say, oh, what I say goes. It's, other people putting in work to understand, to discuss, to consider what's going on, and coming to a consensus on what's actually going to happen. Number 3, 2 little baking soda and what? 2 little baking soda mixed in cookie dough and baked. So you had to do all that stuff to end up with the lumpy light color cookies. You can't just say, oh, I have 2 little baking soda and now I have light lumpy colored cookies. Lumpy light colored cookies. You have to do something to it to get the cookies, right? Put in a pregnant mama. What happens in the middle? 9 months of pregnancy. So she's not going to say, oh, I'm pregnant, now I have the baby. She has to be pregnant to develop the baby over the 9 months, and then a human baby comes out. All right. So here's a question. Can these outs have a different in? So basically, can our outputs have different inputs? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's try and change our ends and see what happens. So we're going to look at the pregnant mama. So we got a pregnant human mama. That's what we put in. We got 9 months of pregnancy, and then we get a human baby. Okay. Let's change the N. So we ended up changing the N, what we put in, from a pregnant human mama to a pregnant sunflower. Okay. So if a sunflower is pregnant, meaning producing seeds, for 9 months, is it going to give you a human baby? Does that work? Not in my world. No, it doesn't work. Let's try to change the middle and see what happens. Okay, so we kept the mama the same. We got a pregnant human mama, but let's change the machine, the middle. Mama's pregnant for 33 days. Is that mama going to get a human baby after 33 days of pregnancy? No. That is a month and 3 days. That's not enough time to get a baby, a human baby at least. Okay, so let's see what happens when we change the in and the middle. Let's see what happens then. All right, so we changed the end to a pregnant sunflower. We changed the middle to 33 days of pregnancy. Is that going to give us a human baby? No, it's not. However, we were right with the first two. If a sunflower can be pregnant for 33 days, but it's not going to produce a baby, a human baby is going to produce something else. So let's change everything, the ins, the middles, and the outs, and see what happens, and the outs. All right, we changed the human mama to a pregnant sunflower. We changed the 9 months to 33 days of pregnancy, and we changed the output, the out, to from a human baby to sunflower babies. So it takes a pregnant sunflower or a sunflower that is growing to produce 33 days to produce sunflower seeds that are showing that you can actually pluck out and plant. So that is the correct process that it takes to produce sunflower seeds. And those are the correct inputs, middles, or machines, and outs to produce the right thing. This works. This is actually a function that works. Before we had let me pause because I got some slides that's ready for this. So what happened? We ended up with a whole new function, right? We started out with a sunflower function, and now we have a human function. Sorry. We started out with a human function, but now we have a sunflower function. Why is that? Well, here's the lesson. Let me move me a little bit. The lesson for this real life function. We needed to change all the values, the in, the middle, the out, for our function to work. When we only change one value, even 2 values, our function didn't work. Here's the logic. Human mamas take 9 months to produce baby humans. Humans don't produce sunflowers, and sunflowers don't come from humans. That's the converse, that's the reverse of that. The other form of logic is sunflowers take 33 days to produce sunflower seeds, which can produce baby sunflowers when you plant them. Sunflowers don't produce humans, and humans don't come from sunflowers. Okay, that's the logic. That's what we just proved using our process of elimination and switching in and out, switching our ins and outs and middles. Okay, so let's look at an actual diagram and try to match up our inputs and outputs. Okay, so we got in our input, we have a pregnant mama, we have a sunflower, and we have a turtle. In our output, we have turtle eggs and baby turtles coming out of their eggs. We have a human baby, and we have a sprouting sunflower, which are actually producing seeds. So let's match up our inputs and outputs. Bam, there you go. So the human mama goes to the baby, meaning the human mama input matches to the baby output. The sunflower that has seeds already showing can have one of their seeds produce a baby sunflower that will grow into producing its own sunflowers seeds after 33 days. And a turtle will lay her eggs and produce baby turtles. So I'm not sure how long it takes for a turtle to produce eggs and for the eggs to hatch and everything. But we know that we can obviously match up the inputs to the corresponding outputs. Here's a question. Can we do this? Look closely. Can we match a human mama with a baby and the sunflowers output? A human mama can only naturally produce a baby, a human baby. Human mamas can't naturally produce from them a sunflower physically. How about this? Can a turtle produce turtle eggs and sunflowers? No, just the turtle eggs, right? You're not gonna break open, or you're not gonna see a sunflower crack out of a turtle egg. It's not gonna happen. So here's the rule of input and output. Naturally, each input, a pregnant human, pregnant sunflower, or pregnant turtle, is matched with what it will produce after its term of pregnancy or seed growth, and it cannot produce any other type of life. Understand that? Also, each output, either turtle eggs, human babies, or sunflowers, cannot have a different source or mama, and wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the mama, right? So each input has one output. So each input, mamas, have one output, one type of output, the babies. And each output depends on its input. So like I said before, each output, each of the babies wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the mama getting pregnant, right? Okay, so that is a intro to what functions are. I would like to definitely go into more depth on functions and get more algebraic with it. This was a more real life scenario version, and when we get more algebraic, it'll be better easier to understand since you have this as your foundation. Feel free to watch this again, go through the different slides and pause it if you need to take in what I went through in this video. Okay, thanks so much.